May Allah reward you all and bless you, protect you all. Thank you.
Ahsan. See, what did Kareem just do? What did he just do? Really, if somebody can pick this up, this is art. Literally, it's art. If you know how to speak, you become artistic. How? You can influence. And when you can influence, you can get what you want out of life. A lot of us, we don't know how to communicate. We don't. We don't know when to push forward and pull back. It's communication. Being able to do that is an art. You have to have a lot of wisdom to be able to communicate at a very high level. And wisdom, in the Quran it states, whoever has been given wisdom has been given something great. Imam Ali alayhi salam, he says, فَإِنَّمَا قَلْبُ الْحَدَثِ كَالْأَرْضِ الْخَالِيَةِ مَا أُلْقِيَ فِيهَا مِنْ شَيْءٍ قَبَلَتْهُ. Surely the child's heart is like freshly tilled soil. Whatever is planted in it takes seed. That's incredible when you really understand that. Why? Because at the end of the day, whatever you plant as a seed in your heart and you water it with the right emotions, it will grow. Now, Imam Ali alayhi salam is teaching Imam Hassan. Imam Hassan was 6 years of age. What do you think would be the first thing he taught him? Give me just whatever you guys want to throw out there. Go ahead. Talking, communication. Excellent. What else? Walking? Is that what you said? Walking? Okay, he was 6. He already knew how to walk. So really pay attention. Go ahead. Running? Masha, okay, he was running. He was running already. Give me a little bit more. Courage. Beautiful. What else? Seems like all the sisters tonight have all the courage. No strength here. Go ahead. Honesty. Beautiful. Honesty. Compassion. All these are great. What? Go ahead, sister. Faithful. Wow, she got all of you guys. The first thing he wanted to teach him in terms of his own character, to build his own character, was discipline. Al-adab. Imam Ali alayhi salam says, what is discipline? He says, Al-amali bin-nashati wal-kasal. To do and to move and to take action, whether you feel like it or not. How many of you come tonight just to spiritually repair yourself? We all do. But how many of you really come to change yourself? There's a difference. If you come and you want to change yourself, there's a difference. You have a goal, you're seeking something. I want change. That requires discipline. Discipline, sometimes we don't have it, but discipline is your mental muscle, bottom line. And mental muscle in the morning is strong. In the evening, it literally dissipates. Your mind gets tired like your body does. It's actually proven that your mind, by the end of the day, before you go to sleep, you're tired. So imagine there's a muscle in your brain. Your brain is actually a muscle.
Because it's walking all the day.
Beautiful. It's walking all day. It's working. I see you got me walking. See? It's working all day.
Thinking
Beautiful. Absolutely. Some of us can't stop it even at night. We're thinking about work. We're afraid we're going to lose something. We love someone. They left us. Right? It's a guy problem. But, yes. What is it? I can't hear you. Decision making? Yes, absolutely. It becomes really hard at night to make decisions. You make really bad decisions when your mind is tired. You make really bad decisions because you put it on autopilot. That's what happens. So now, I want to go through this with you guys really quickly. And really pay attention to this. Now, why is that the case? When Imam Ali alayhi salam, he says to Imam Hassan, I want to teach you what? Discipline. What is discipline? Could you guys please just, the side chatter, please just, it's very hard up here when I'm trying to speak and just you other side conversations are happening. So sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So, how many of you like freedom? Everybody's hand should go up. If you don't like freedom, I don't know, there's something, check your pulse, okay?
We need it.
We need it. Who wants freedom to choose? Do all of you have freedom? Who has freedom? Come on, what? Come on. It's like, I'm not sure. I don't know. Do I raise my hand up or not? Just participate. It's good. It's fun. Have a little courage. Ready? I want everybody to raise your hand as high as you can. Ready? Who wants freedom? MashaAllah. Okay, there we go. All right. Now, why is freedom so important? If I move my hand like this, if I just move my hand from one side to the next, isn't that freedom? Isn't that control? Is it self-evident? Does that need proof? It doesn't need proof. It's a self-evident concept. What that means is I don't have to, I can literally just show you and you're convinced. So now, if that's the case and we want control, we want to choose, we love autonomy, we love to choose our own what? Path. Why would you ask Allah, ihdina sirat al-mustaqim? If you like to choose your own path, why would you ask Allah to do that? Because you're asking Allah in terms of Ayat al-Fatiha. In al-Fatiha. What are you asking? Why would you hand control to Allah Azza wa Jalla?
Because you know He's going to give you better,
He's gonna choose the best for us.
destiny, or He's going to give you better guidance.
Better guidance.
You don't want the responsibility.
Ahsant. Beautiful. You don't want it, and the brother's thinking of an end goal. 100%. So watch this. Pay attention to this statement. The second someone hands you freedom to choose, you know what they're handing you? Responsibility. So run. Be careful. When you have to choose, be very careful. Especially when there's a lot of responsibility in hand. What is a lot of responsibility? Imagine you as a person have to take 100 people into war. Can anybody be that commander? Why? The responsibility is heavy. It's heavy. It's not easy to handle that kind of situation. Everybody wants to be a leader, right? Who doesn't want to be a leader? Everybody wants to be a leader. Can you handle leadership? Can you do it? It's very difficult to do that. But everybody wants to choose, right? Now we have concepts and people who come out, the hijab is not in the Quran. I pray when I want. I do what I want. We live in a time of opinion. This is the time we live in. I choose my religion. I pick it out of my own pocket. And I tell Allah what I want. أَرَأَيْتَ الَّذِي اتَّخَذَ إِلَهَهُ هَوَاهُ. Do you see the person who's taken his own Lord, his Lord, to be his desires? That's what happens on that level. We've become, not all of us obviously, I'm speaking in terms of just general norms. Now, on that level, once you start understanding that the responsibility of your decisions is vast, meaning it's very difficult to make decisions when the responsibility is heavy. What did Allah give you as the most precious thing? What is it? Intellect. Beautiful. What else? Free will. What else?
Staying at the Qadr.
The Quran. Beautiful. What else? What else?
Hajj, Wissam.
There you go. Is there anything more precious than your soul to you? Now let me ask you this. Is your soul a lot of responsibility? Wow. Wow. Allah gave you what? Freedom to choose. So He handed you responsibility within that choice. Now watch this. The second you go from freedom to responsibility, what does responsibility require? It requires discipline. What was Imam Ali alayhi salam teaching Imam Hassan? He was teaching him discipline. Now, watch this. This is what I'm telling you to run. How many of you like to have fun? How many of you like to do boring stuff? Boring stuff. Where it's just boring. This stuff is just boring. It's like, it's just mind-numbing. You're just like, you're looking at somebody like that, it's like, how could you do that? Discipline is doing the boring stuff before what? The fun stuff. That's hard. Is heaven going to be fun? I hope so. Is heaven going to be fun? Can you do whatever you want? Okay. Imam Ali alayhi salam, pay attention to this. He says, in heaven there is no need. Think about that. In heaven there is no need. There's complete satisfaction. How many of you want that state? How many of you have it now? It's difficult. It's not easy. But at the end of the day, that's what happens. So Imam Ali alayhi salam, he's giving you something. But he says there's something here that's so much more beautiful than anything you can own in heaven. He says there's satisfaction that's here, that's greater than what is in heaven. What do you think that is? That's a huge statement. What I just said, everybody wants heaven. But Imam Ali alayhi salam, he says there's feelings and emotions that are greater than what you would feel in heaven. What would it be? Everybody wants to go to heaven, but he's telling you your treasure is here. Guess. Go ahead. Say it. Have courage. Content. Beautiful. MashaAllah. Like your vocabulary is like, you want to come up here and speak? Okay. So go ahead. Guess. All of us should know this. What? I heard something. It was a very light voice, but I heard it. Hassan. I think I told you the hadith. No. Listen to what he says. He says, رِكْعَةٌ فِي دُنْيَاكُمْ أَحَبُّ لِي مِنَ الْجَنَّةِ وَمَا فِيهَا. Think about that. He says one rak'ah in this life. One rak'ah. Not two, not three, not four. He says one. One rak'ah in this world is better for me than heaven and what is in it. Imam Ali alayhi salam was asked why. He says, because here there is worship. There is no worship. Look at the criteria he gives us. How many of you have enough discipline when your alarm clock goes off? You just keep hitting snooze. Imam Ali alayhi salam is telling you this is the ultimate pleasure. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. And then you're like, sleep, sleep, sleep. But Allah is calling you, hayya ala khairil amal. Do we listen to what we are saying? Come to the best of works. Allah is calling you. Then watch this. Allah says to you, here, I'm going to give you an equation. And I'm going to tell you exactly when you need to pray. Is that Allah's opinion? Is that Allah's opinion? No?
Yes.
Allah's telling you, listen, at 6:42 and 6:42 exactly, get up and pray. Isn't that His opinion? He gave us those times, right? What happens when you don't follow His opinion? Are you using your own opinion? Let's measure opinions. Who's got a better opinion? Who's got a better opinion? You or Allah Azza wa Jal? So I suggest we follow, right? So be careful, even with the smallest little decisions you make. Discipline comes in and says what? I know Salah is boring, but get up. And you get up and you pray. But is your heart connected? Is it? There's a difference. That's the key. Your heart needs to go in sujood, not physically. Okay? So now, here's what happens, and please, like for the mothers and the fathers, this is huge. Like I actually present this at corporate levels. I do, but it's a lot more robust than this. So on this kind of level, when you start understanding how this works, especially the next part, it's very crucial that you understand how that works. Because the way people view you is very important. And we don't realize that. You don't realize how much someone's opinion of you matters. Imagine your boss views you as unreliable. You think you're going to get a promotion? Imagine Allah views you as unreliable. You think you're going to get into heaven? Someone's opinion of you matters. It matters. A lot of us, we say, you know what? I don't care what people think. No problem. If they're bad people and they give you bad decisions to follow, no problem. Don't follow. But Imam Sajjad alayhi salam, he said, let me follow the one who wants to guide me. That opinion is important. People's opinions are important. But how you hold your character up is also very important. Some of us don't want to do that. You just want to let it go. No, your name is everything. So now, from here, we said discipline is doing the boring stuff before the fun stuff. What happens when you can do that? You get up in the morning, you pray, you're doing everything you go to work, you go to school, everything that time, you get an A in exam, you get the promotion at work, everything's going great. Do you have self-discipline? Do you have self-discipline if you do that? Yes. What happens when you have self-discipline? When you do the boring stuff before the fun stuff, you're prioritizing. This is time allocation. This is actually time management. Salah is actually a format for time management. إِنَّ الصَّلَاةَ كَانَتْ عَلَى الْمُؤْمِنِينَ كِتَابًا مَوْقُوتًا. Surely Salah has been ordained on you, the believers, as what? At fixed times. Allah has given you a map of time management. Get up at this time and you pray. He's giving you a specific duty at that time. So now, if you can do that, go to another verse in the Quran. فَأَمَّا مَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ وَنَهَى النَّفْسَ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ فَإِنَّ الْجَنَّةَ هِيَ الْمَأْوَىٰ. Surely the one who fears the state of his Lord and does what? Refrains the self from the regressive desires. Surely heaven is his abode. So this is the epitome of your soul. And you know what it is? telling yourself no. Bottom line, when the temptation happens, do you have enough mental strength? Do you have enough discipline to pull back? That's the difference. That's the difference between all of us. How many of you have not had a problem in the last year? I got a lot of them. And guess what? When you get more money, you can just multiply that. You make the first million, multiply your problems by 100. You make 2 million, multiply it by 1,000. Trust me. I was just in Florida. I was visiting one of my clients. Okay? I get to cool stuff, you know. I was out there and it's like, alhamdulillah. But anyways, just the problems with people who have a lot of money. Don't think and don't compare yourself in terms of your house to their house, their car to your car, their family to your family, okay? Don't look at what looks great from the outside and just like, wow, I wish I could have that. You know what you should do? If you want to do the comparison, no problem. Go full tact, go full spectrum, and take the problems they have as well. Don't just compare on the nice stuff and what you see from the outside. Compare on the inside and see what happens. Compare when the person can't sleep for more than 2 hours a night. Why don't you take that as well? That looks super good. Or the pills they're taking. Why don't you take that problem? Why don't we always compare on a negative note? Look at me, Ya Allah, you've never given me anything. But what? This person, you've given them everything. It's my perspective is off. Because I can't see the depth. I can't. And I only compare what? On a negative stream from me to the other person. We negatively compare. But as soon as you go inside the person's life, you know what happens? Take their cancer too. We don't see that. We're always missing variables when we do comparison. Don't compare at that level. If you're going to compare, take the good and the bad. Don't just take the good and what looks good to your eye. Your eye will fool you, guaranteed. So now, if someone hands you freedom, they're handing you what? Responsibility. Did Allah hand us the highest level of responsibility? What was it? What was it? Your soul. Your soul is a heavy responsibility. So if your soul requires responsibility for you to take care of, you need to have discipline against your own soul. We said discipline is doing the boring stuff before the fun stuff. Measure yourself at this level. The next time salah comes, truthfully test yourself. Okay? Look at whatever you're doing. Look at whatever you're doing and see and listen to your own soul talking to you. And then reach deep inside your own heart and grab that emotion. Look at it. Is it connected to salah? Or is it connected to your own present comfort when you have to wake up in the morning? Or when you are doing something during the day and salah comes, do you long to be in sujood? Or you're just so grabbed on to whatever you're doing, you even forget. That's discipline. Now, discipline is a key in the beginning when you're building a habit. It's not required. What the brain does after a while, when you have high amounts of discipline in the beginning and you build the habit and it becomes habitual, then after that, you know what happens? The brain actually moves that habit into a different part. When you learn how to ride a bike, it's actually placed in the back of your brain, the cerebellum. Anything in terms of these things, that's what happens. So discipline is required in the beginning of a habit. You need that mental strength in the beginning. Now what happens when you have self-discipline? You get results. What are the results? Where's your soul going back to? إذا بلغت التراق وقيل من راق. Can anybody finish it? Go ahead. فراق. You got to the verse. What's the next one? Can anybody help him? أحسنت. إلى ربك يومئذ المساق. You're going back to your Lord. All of us, listen, we're all going back. You're all going back. And some of us, when we're transitioning, we're going to claw onto this world with our fingernails. I don't want to go back. Because you're going to see everything for its truth. There, at that moment, listen to this. Imam Ali alayhi salam, he says the first thing you will lose when that transition is happening is the ability to speak. You can hear and you can see. The second thing you lose is your hearing. The third thing you lose is your eyesight. Now you know you're transitioning. If you're going from a good place to a bad place, what did you do? Did you do the boring stuff first or the fun stuff first? No, you did the fun stuff. You grabbed onto this world and its temptations. Bottom line. That's what you did. I'm going to play the games. I'm going to go out. I'm going to party. Facebook, Instagram, all these things. Send that text to that girl. It's okay, no problem. Allah forgives me. Imam Ali alayhi salam, he says this. He says, beware, beware. He's covered your sins so much that you think he's forgiven you. A lot of us, we live in this state that we think Allah has covered our sins so much that you think he's forgiven you. Check your own thoughts. Check your own ideas. What happens here? As soon as you have self-discipline, you get results. Let's say you're going to a what? A good place. When people in this world, you get good results. How do they view you? As reliable. That's how they view you. When you do that, and you do that enough times, and you get good results, and people view you as reliable, you know what happens after that? You become invaluable. You know what that means? Literally, you cannot be replaced. Your talent is too great. It'll take 10 people to replace you in a company. That's how powerful you become. Now, let's go to the other side. Let's say you don't get the right results and you do the fun stuff before the boring stuff. What happens? Others have to discipline you. What do they slap you with first? What's the first thing they do? Because I'm going to take you all the way back around to here. I'm going to take you back here. Okay? It's going to flip. The whole thing is going to flip, and I'm going to show you how it works. Okay? So the next time somebody rips away your freedom, ask yourself why. You should be able to see it by the end of this presentation. So now, when someone takes away your responsibility, you know why? Because you got negative results.
They don't trust you.
They don't trust you. You become what? Unreliable. And the first thing they hit you with is a rule. So the first thing they do, and the first thing that comes out of your mouth, what? Is what? I love this word. It's a wasted thought, literally. Can anybody guess it? It's literally a wasted thought. You just wasted a portion of your life when you do this. What is it? Can anybody tell me? I'm sorry? What's the first thing somebody does when they don't do what they're supposed to do? What is it? Lying. Good. Okay, so lying is a form of it. What else? Not care? Excuses. بل الإنسان على نفسه لبصيرة ولو ألقى معاذيره. Surely on that day you're going to present what? Your excuses. You're going to present them. But Allah is going to tell you, listen, you against your own, like your own being, your own record, literally He's going to pull out your hard drive in your head, because every thought you make in this world is recorded. This thing doesn't stop. It's a directory. Allah will pull out your hard drive and say, here. Escape. Imagine your own intention walking in front of you, saying, hey, I did that. Can you challenge that? You can't. So now, what happens is you start putting forth your excuses. Once you have shortcomings, the first thing you will do is have excuses. When I'm coaching anyone, in terms of the corporate end, especially executives, if I hear you make an excuse, right away, I will shut you down. Because you're not mature enough to handle what? What? Responsibility. You don't know how much you give away about yourself when you hand over an excuse to someone. And that's why I tell you, it's a waste of thought. Imam Ali alayhi salam, he says, not to be in need of excuse is better than having a good excuse. Why? Because you fulfilled your responsibility. That's the difference. So now, you become unreliable. And when you become they view you as what? Unreliable. And they what? What do they take away from you? What's the first thing they take away from you? What is it? You're not trusted anymore because you're unreliable, right? But what else? I heard something here. Freedom. Beautiful. What do they tell you? If, let's say you're playing too much video games. What do the parents do? What do? They take the video game. What else? And now you're crying in your room. Blah, 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 blah. What is it? They set the rules. They stripped you from your freedom to make decisions. Please pay attention to this. In the Quran, Allah Azza wa Jal will give us this state. And He says in the Quran, He says, وَهَلَكَ عَنِّي سُلْطَانِيَا. Please pay attention. On that day, you don't have any more choice. My own free will has been taken away from me. This ability just to move your hand will be taken away. You're going to lose it. Trust me. Because the trial is over. So build discipline and discipline your emotions so you can have them at will. So when the nafs and that temptation wants something, Imam Ali alayhi salam, he says, وَنَفْسُ مِنْهُ فِي عَنَاءٍ. His own self, those regressive desires, they're afraid of you. Think about that. Think about the amount of control you have to have as a person. That when a temptation comes, you shut it down. That's strength. That's control. What happens when you manifest that you can take people into battle and bring them out alive? What happens to your rank? You just go higher and higher and higher. The more discipline you have, the higher you fly. That's the difference. And when people see you like that you're not reliable, the first thing they'll do is you become dispensable. Your value goes to zero and you can be replaced. That's how it works. They rip away your freedom and they rip away your responsibility because you don't have what? The magic ingredient of discipline. I gave you a worldly factor, but I also gave you what? A hereafter factor. That's how it works. Allah has set the system. You just have to follow it. But some of us, when I say some of us, I'm talking about me first. When you're taught to speak, you have to say that. I'm talking about myself. Alaikum salam. But on that level, please, if you as a person are struggling with anything, we're all struggling with something. Beg Allah to give you the strength to battle whatever you're struggling with. Beg Him. I'm seeing so much in the community, it's crazy. I swear to you, it's very difficult now. There is so much temptation, it's unbelievable. It's everywhere. And we are becoming more animalistic as we move forward. It's happening. The desires are beyond belief. And there is no stopping the system. When you as a person have these things, it's okay. Just don't break. Don't. I just came back and a sister just slit her wrists. As I was there for 2 days. I get another call. A brother wants to kill himself. Don't think this is light. It's not. It's happening in our own backyard. Your soul is too precious. The Imam Ali alayhi salam, he says, the only thing you should trade your soul for is what? Heaven. How many times have I quoted Imam Ali in this presentation? How many times? Live with that. Live with it. Download the program. Download the hadith into your mind. Don't just read them and just feel good for a second. No, grab the information. Take it. That's the difference. Live with the Quran. That's the difference. Have it become your tongue. When someone speaks, you can go straight to the point. And you say, no, it doesn't say this. It says this. That's how you should become. When you do that, I'm telling you, the amount of strength that you will have, you will become like a mountain. Let any storm come. Let any storm. Let any hurricane. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You will not move. You're too strong. That's the difference. We're going through an epidemic. Trust me. The amount of despair that's here is incredible. I swear to you, I can't keep up. I'm starting to train people to do what I do. I can't keep up. This is not light. We're all responsible for each other. All of us. So I'm begging you, please, the best thing you can do is just do this. That's it. And I'm going to finish with this. Every night, before you go to sleep, just open up the Quran. I swear to you, that's all you have to do. I swear to you, that's all you have to do. And just read the first verse. Just one verse. That's it. Don't go any more than that. Just one verse. Then move. And watch. And just ask Allah, help me. Ya Allah, help me. If you can do that and stay consistent, what begins in your heart is the most beautiful thing on the face of this earth. It's literally happiness. Happiness is different from pleasure. I'm going to repeat what I just said. Happiness and pleasure are two different things. They're two separate things. Any pleasure can be addictive. Happiness is not addictive. So what, out of this whole presentation, what's the only thing you need to do and you need to learn? Tell yourself what? Yes or no?
No.
That's it. Learn how to tell the self, no. I don't want to be depressed. I don't want to be anxious. I know what I'm saying is what? General. There are specific situations and people have it hard. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about the generalities. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. Specifics are there. And some people have certain issues, no problem. I'm not talking about that. I'm just giving you the mechanisms. Once you build this, and this comes into your system, it's amazing what happens. That's how it needs to work. If anybody has any comments, questions, I can give you a little bit of some of the things that I gain all the time. I deal with this day in, day out. This is my profession. I'm dealing with people across the world, on the phone and in person. And guess what? Every area of the world has got problems. It's not your geographical location. It's not how big your house is. It's not how nice your car is. Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Alaikum assalam. Anybody have any quick questions, comments, concerns? Go ahead. That's going to cost you money, man. Just send me your email. I'll be happy to give it to you. This, okay, by the way, so I'll give you some, just hold on one second. All this information, I'm actually producing modules, okay? They're going to be video recordings. There's going to be infographics where you're going to be able to see all this stuff. Then there's going to be a workbook, and there's exams. And it's going to be all on the website. And this is going to be called Understanding Discipline. But there's a lot more to it, okay? Then I connect it to other modules. So there's literally, then we go into self-discipline, but we also go into self-confidence. So the science of self-confidence will be another 6 modules. That's going to all be on there. But it's literally, it's a whole curriculum. I'm developing it in terms of what I'm doing. And alhamdulillah, this is all, and by the way, I just want to give you guys an understanding of some of the things that I do. Get yourself a mentor. Get yourself a mentor. Imam Ali was mentored by who? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wa alihi. Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein were mentored by who? Imam Ali alayhi salam. Get yourself a mentor. And if they're good people, my God, what you have. It's incredible. Okay? So that's going to be all set up, inshallah. So if you need that information, you're going to have more than enough access to it, inshallah. Okay? Go ahead.
I have a question. While you were presenting, you named the good stuff, boring stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Why the good stuff? We should name it like this. If we're like interested in ibadah or whatever we're doing, it's gonna be like something interesting. It's not gonna be boring anymore.
Beautiful, beautiful. The way you said that is beautiful. I have to state this way because a lot of us, unfortunately, that's why I told you, check your heart. When you're about to go to pray, check your heart. Is it something that's boring to you? Or do you long to be with Allah Azza wa Jalla? Imam Ali alayhi salam, when he used to go into sujood, what did they take out of his ankle? When he went to sujood, what? An arrow. Think about that. Can you get to that kind of level? Imam Ali said, also alayhi salam, he says, whenever you are in sujood, if you knew the bounties of it, if you knew the bounties of sujood, you would never raise your head up. You would never lift your head up. Why? Why would he say that? Do you really understand that we said Allahu Akbar, it's come out? No. We said, have your heart go into sujood. This khushu' is everything. That's the epitome of happiness. So unfortunately, I have to name it what? The boring stuff. Imam Ali alayhi salam lifted the gates of Khaybar. With what? His physical strength? His spiritual strength. That's where he got it from. That's the discipline aspect. But he couldn't break a piece of bread because of temptation. Think about that. That's who we have as a guide. But can you get yourself to do that? Can you? That's spiritual strength versus temptation of this world. So I'm sorry, I have to call it that. Because for most of us, and I swear to you, I have a hard time with this too. I'm not telling you I'm better than you. Just because I lay this out and I can put a little format together doesn't mean that what? I can do this. There's no comparison here. Compare yourself to yourself, not to anybody else. So when you do that and you go into sujood, hopefully sujood becomes what? What's the word? Boring or fun? It becomes fun. That's where true what? Success is. That's true success. رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنْهُمْ وَرَضُوا عَنْهُ. At the end of the verse, it says, ذَلِكَ الْفَوْزُ الْعَظِيمُ. My God, what you have just won. If you can do that. It's incredible. So, hopefully, you have enough. When Allah hands you that freedom, He hands you the responsibility of your soul. The responsibility of your soul requires it that what? You discipline yourself enough to do what? Do the fun stuff before the boring stuff, which is salah, right? See the equation? That's beautiful. If you can do that now and you taste salah for its truth, my God, what happens to you? You become a different human being. That's how we need to be. Your temptation should be your salah, nothing else. That's your guidance system to Allah. That's your navigation. When you do that right, alhamdulillah, you have self-discipline. You become reliable, and guess what? You become invaluable. That's how it works. Any other questions, quick questions, concerns, comments? Going once, twice. And done. Go ahead.
You were saying about grasping something, like when you learn something, truly grasping. How do you do that? You said instead of just reading something, feeling good about it, and then just letting it go truly like.
So I'm going to reiterate your question before I move forward. Okay, and correct me if I'm wrong. Assalamu alaikum. How are you? How are you? This is a warrior right here. What's your name, Habib? What's your name? Rami, mashallah. Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. You want to give a presentation? You do? Come up here. What do you want to talk about, Rami?
Talking about no salah.
Yeah, sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Okay. Your question is, when you're first reading something, how do you really take it in? Okay? I'll give you a scientific approach and just even the depths of the brain. Okay? So you have 4 levels literally of memory. The first is registry memory. It's if you want to mess with someone, okay, and then let's say they're not listening to you, okay? How many of you like been with someone and they're not listening to you, and you know they're not listening, but then you ask them like, and then they repeat it, right? You're like, but I know you're not listening, but you can't prove it, right? So here's what you do. When they're listening and they're giving you half their attention, here's what you do. That's sensory memory. Sensory memory is very short. And the way it works is just picks up information and retains it. Do this with that person. Distract them just for a second. Give them a different thought. Then ask them what you had said. 90% of the time, they're not going to be able to answer you. That's how you get them. I've done this a million times. I just know the way the brain works. Now, that's how short in terms of a level. And unfortunately, by the way, that's how we work. We think we own ideas. You don't own the idea. You're renting it. Trust me, you're renting the idea. Right now, everything I've talked about, you just rented it. You know why? Because your short-term memory. Your short-term memory will remember it, half hour, 2 hours, 2 days. You know what's going to do after that? It's going to dump it out. I just played maybe with your emotions a little bit, made you feel a little better. You feel a little more spiritual. These are great things, no problem. But at the end of the day, retain the information. And I said what in the beginning? That caused change. That's what you want. You want the thing that causes change. So semantic memory is the lowest part. I'm not going to go through all of it. But the semantic memory is actually understanding. It's understanding. So whenever you're truly looking for anything and you're reading it, if you don't understand it, or you just go, a lot of us, how many times in Ramadan, we just go through the whole Quran, right? But take one verse and go in depth and understand it. That's tadabbur. Really look into it. Dig deep and see and have that verse change you. Download it mentally. Feel it emotionally and change by your actions. If you do that, you've grabbed something. You got something. And on the day of judgment, you can use that. Say, Ya Allah, look what I have. Here, trade with that. Trade with that commodity. Trade with that currency. That when you see someone that needs something, trade with Allah. Imam Ali alayhi salam, he says, you see someone in need, do it quickly. Don't announce it. And don't make it a big deal. How many of us, when we give money, or I'm not saying you guys, everybody here is mashallah humble, right? He says, keep it hidden. Keep it, I'm not telling you not to. Sometimes it's important. It's important. Imam Sajjad alayhi salam, all he said in front of Yazid is what? Ana. In the right situation, it's important. It's wisdom that should dictate that delivery. In terms of the situation and what it requires of you. So that level, go to the deepest level. Just go to understanding. But also your emotional code is very important. That you connect to it emotionally. And when you do that, then your actions and your behavior will change. So let's say you're not praying on time. Do you really understand prayer then? Think about it. If you did, you would prioritize it. You see what I'm saying? But that's a beautiful point what you just said. Does that at least give a little bit? I think I answered a little bit of it, not all of it. Any other concerns? I'm trying to cut it, trying to be as quick as possible. Okay? All right. We also have like refreshments after this. And inshallah, I hope I refreshed your mind and just kind of hit a few buttons. Hopefully you take something, I don't know, alhamdulillah. But I'm always learning. I'm never teaching. I'm always learning. What I do is active learning. What you do is passive learning. When someone teaches, they're actually actively learning. You know what that means? They retain 90% of the information. That's more at a higher level. They're practicing, their mind is practicing the information. They're actually is going deeper into them. Passive learning, you retain about 10%. So that's why I wanted to make it up here. And Samahat al-Sheikh, I love this man. Alhamdulillah. There's such a beautiful thing that when you take yourself to the next level in your life, it's amazing. The respect, the honor, the dignity. You earn those things. You earn those things by following principle. And when you follow principle, you earn the honor. And no one can take it from you. But when you don't follow principle, humiliation is the thing that will come. Because temptation will burn you, guaranteed. Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.